become a Hell's Angel, you have to commit. Your life revolves around the club. The more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it.
Imagine a brotherhood so feared that even law enforcement hesitates to cross them. A group that started with motorcycles and camaraderie, evolving into a symbol of rebellion, and for some, terror. This is the story of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club and their rise to notoriety across the United States. But how did a group of post-war bikers transform into one of the most notorious criminal organizations in America? What made them so powerful, so widespread, and so impossible to ignore? From the dusty roads of California to international headlines, the Hells Angels became legends admired by some, hunted by others. Their story isn't just about crime, it's about identity, brotherhood, and recklessness in the face of society. Buckle up, because the road ahead is anything but smooth. From war veterans to outlaw riders. The Hells Angels were founded on March 17, 1948, in Fontana, California, by World War II veterans seeking the thrill and brotherhood they missed after the war. The name Hells Angels was inspired by the Hells Angels squadron of the Flying Tigers in China during World War II. From the ashes of war, a new kind of soldier emerged, armed not with rifles, but with roaring engines and a code of their own. These men returned home to a country they no longer recognized, and that no longer recognized them. Jobs were scarce, PTSD was poorly understood, and many veterans felt alienated from a society eager to move on. Motorcycles offered them the thrill, danger, and connection they had grown used to on the battlefield. Riding in tight formation felt like flying again, only this time the war was against boredom, obedience, and authority. What began as weekend rides quickly evolved into something more, a subculture with its own rules, rituals, and loyalties, spreading wings across America.
This is the current president, vice president. My understanding information we got, he's the guy in charge of the USA run this year, and I would say most definitely he's going to be present today.
By the 1960s, the Hells Angels had established chapters beyond California, reaching into the Southwest, Pacific Northwest, Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantics, and New England regions. Today, there are an estimated 92 chapters in 27 US states, with over 800 members. What began as a local club transformed into a nationwide network. Their expansion wasn't just random, it was strategic. New chapters were often founded in key transportation corridors, allowing them to control drug and weapons routes more effectively. With each state they entered, they brought a strict set of rules, rituals, and expectations, reinforcing their identity and maintaining discipline. Recruitment was selective, with prospective members undergoing intense inspection to ensure loyalty and silence. And as the club grew, so did their public profile. News reports, law enforcement briefings, and Hollywood portrayals only fueled the legends, drawing in new members hungry for power, purpose, or simply the thrill of the ride. Altamont, the concert that turned deadly. In 1969, the Hells Angels were hired to provide security for the Rolling Stones at the Altamont Free concert. Paid with $500 worth of beer, the event turned into chaos when Hells Angel Alan Passaro fatally stabbed concertgoer Meredith Hunter, who had drawn a revolver near the stage. A concert meant to echo Woodstock's peace ended in violence, forever staining the Hells Angels' public image. Criminal enterprise, beyond the motorcycles. The Hells Angels have been involved in various criminal activities, including drug trafficking, gun running, extortion, and murder. They have been involved in the production and distribution of methamphetamine, marijuana, and other narcotics, with the FBI estimating up to $1 billion in annual drug sales. These crimes aren't just the work of outlaw individuals, they're often coordinated at the chapter level, allowing the organization to function like a decentralized cartel. In some regions, the Hells Angels have formed alliances with other criminal groups, including the mafia and prison gangs, to secure drug routes and eliminate rivals. Law enforcement agencies have discovered hidden drug labs, stockpiles of illegal firearms, and millions in cash tied to club operations. Their reputation for violence acts as both a weapon and a warning threatening witnesses, silencing informants and keeping their operations buried in fear. And yet, despite mounting evidence and arrests, the structure of the club has allowed leadership to remain largely isolated from direct prosecution. Undercover operations, infiltrating the inner circle.
Remember, Jay Dobbins infiltrated the Hells Angels motorcycle gang in 2001. He sued the ATF, claiming the agency failed to investigate death threats against Dobbins after his undercover job ended and his identity was exposed.
Law enforcement agencies like the FBI and ATF have spent decades trying to infiltrate the Hells Angels. One of the most famous cases was Operation Black Biscuit, where undercover agent Jay Dobbins posed as a member of a rival gang to gain their trust. The operation led to numerous arrests and gave the world a rare glimpse into the secretive inner workings of the club. But getting inside the Hells Angels wasn't just dangerous, it was almost suicidal. Agents like Dobbins had to live double lives for years, surrounded by criminals who would kill without hesitation if they suspected betrayal. They adopted false identities, participated in staged crimes, and were often pushed to prove their loyalty in brutal ways. Dobbins himself later revealed he received death threats and had his home targeted even after the operation ended. Despite the psychological and physical damage on agents, these operations exposed the club's hierarchical structure, coded language, and traditional behavior. It became clear that the Hells Angels were not just a gang, but a criminal organization bound by blood, loyalty, and fear. Structure and culture, the code of the Angels. The club operates with a hierarchical structure, where members must earn their patches, and failure to follow the rules results in severe consequences. There are different levels of membership, from future members who are still proving their worth, to full patch members who have earned the right to wear the club's iconic Death Head logo. But it's not just about the patch, it's about living and dying by a set of unspoken rules that few outsiders truly understand. The Hells Angels culture is deeply rooted in brotherhood, and any perceived betrayal of the club is punished quickly. Loyalty to the club is supreme, and members often view themselves as family, bound together by shared experiences and dangers. New recruits must prove their dedication, not just in riding, but in handling illegal activities, taking part in violent conflicts, and showing respect to higher-ranking members. To be an angel is to live by the code, and those who break it face not just expulsion, but the fury of the entire club. From local club to international syndicate, from American highways to international schemes, the Hells Angels' influence knows no borders. The Hells Angels have expanded globally, with chapters in Europe, Australia, and beyond. Their international presence has led to involvement in international crimes, including a plot where an Iranian operative hired Hells Angels members for assassinations in the US. Law enforcement challenges, a game of cat and mouse.
The leader of Hells Angels motorcycle gang has been rearrested. Richard DeVries was taken into custody at CCDC today, facing charges including conspiracy to commit murder and more than 20 counts of shooting at an occupied vehicle.
For decades, law enforcement has been in a tireless chase of the Hells Angels, but bringing the club down has proven difficult. The Hells Angels' distributed structure, with chapters operating independently, makes it hard for authorities to target the organization as a whole. Additionally, the club's strict code of silence, known as omerta, keeps members from cooperating with law enforcement. Informants are not only rare, they are viewed as traitors and face severe consequences if they break the code. Yet, despite their best efforts, law enforcement is often left playing catch-up. Undercover operations, wiretaps, and surveillance have produced some results, but the Hells Angels' ability to adapt and regroup has kept them one step ahead. Members are quick to move locations, change their routes, and even alter their operations in response to law enforcement pressure. And with their global reach and sophisticated networks, infiltrating the organization remains a tough challenge. Even when authorities make major busts, the leadership structure ensures that the club can continue operating, making it a lasting challenge for law enforcement. The Hells Angels Motorcycle Club remains a symbol of rebellion and a subject of fascination and fear. Their journey from post-war motorcycle enthusiasts to an international syndicate reflects a complex narrative of freedom, crime, and the human desire for belonging. Their story is a mirror to society's underbelly, challenging our perceptions of freedom and order. And there you have it, the untold story of how the Hells Angels conquered the United States. From their humble beginnings to their rise as one of the most powerful criminal organizations in the world. Their influence and reach are undeniable, and despite constant efforts from law enforcement, the Hells Angels remain a force to be thought with. If you found this deep dive into their dark history, make sure to hit that like button. Share this video with your friends, and comment below with your thoughts. What part of the Hells Angels' journey shocked you the most? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another eye-opening video. Stay tuned, and as always, thanks for watching.